It's TEW Tuesday. We got Dark Side of the Ring, Sandman this week. Uh, also we've got some booking of the Sandman. Um, he's not exactly what you'd call a main eventer on our card, but we're gonna give him some heat. We're gonna give him some. He's a heel, right? I'm pretty sure that's how I was booking it. He's a heel. So yeah, we're gonna give him some heat. We're gonna give him some momentum. We're gonna give him a few wins. Uh, Looks like he's up against the Snowster first, Mr. Al Snow. But yeah, um, without further ado, let's just jump right into it, as Philly D would do. Back this up. All right, guys, here's your warning: uncensored content. I actually do not know what the contents of this video is going to be. I haven't seen this one yet. I don't know a lot about the Sandman as a man. I know a lot about the Sandman character. Um, so I can imagine that the man was pretty fucked up.
Weighing 274 pounds, the Sandman!
In the
274 pounds?
1990s, Extreme Championship Wrestling was meaner, more aggressive, and bloodier than anything audiences had seen before, as the demands of the company's rabid fan base led to a dangerous escalation of in-ring violence.
What is this? These guys are crazy.
It felt so personal.
Ooh.
And I think that's why the fans were so involved with it.
People didn't know if it was scripted or not.
And the more popular it got, the more they had to top the last show.
An escalation embodied by the Sandman.
Interesting.
You know, got his jeans on, his t-shirt on, his kendo stick, smoking a cigarette, drinking a beer. Fans like, I could be this guy.
You might think it is because all you see is a beer drinking, cigarette smoking scumbag.
Sandman's character was as organic as it could get.
There's not a whole lot of difference between James Fullington and the Sandman.
What can I do that somebody hasn't done? I can make myself bleed before I get into the ring. Nobody else has done that.
Though a hardcore icon, countless injuries and a lawless locker room create no shortage of controversies, leaving the Sandman with a brutal and complicated legacy.
Somebody has got to stop the Sandman!
Why fuck with what's going on in the back?
There was the cokeheads, there was the potheads, there was, painkillers.
We got all the alcohol, drugs, pills that you could possibly think of.
I don't know if he remembers even half of the
all
stuff
the
that has
all the
ever
drugs you
happened.
could think
I told my
of.
family, said, tell them the fucking worst. People need to know this.
He should have been dead a long time ago.
Enter
That entrance, let's talk
Sandman.
about it for a second.
Yeah.
For people who have never experienced it, like, what is the Sandman's entrance?
So my music's playing. Maybe some days it's 30 seconds, some days it's a minute and a half. But at the one point, it's like, all right, everybody should be clapping your hands at this point. So when I come in, I don't want everybody to see me at one time. I want like some people to see me and then be like, oh shit, he's over there. And then it works its way around the building. And it might take 10, 15 seconds till everybody actually figures out you're over here. And then at that point I got him. Then it's time to pop a beer. Back in the day, dude, I would drink like 6 beers on the way to the ring. Smash me against my head. I'll be bloody before I even get into the ring.
I mean, that's his personality. He's drinking beer, spitting it out. He's pouring beer down your throat. You feel like you're part of it, and you are.
If you got a Sandman shirt on, you're definitely getting a beer poured down your throat. You know what I'm saying?
It's the best part of the show, unless you're wrestling. If you're wrestling, it sucks because you gotta wait for him to get to the ring. But if you're watching, it's great, because he gives the fans what they want. He's one of them, it's a great entrance.
With those pants and put the do-rag on, it's like the equivalent of like getting up and putting a hat on and, going and doing your errands. Except this guy was putting this shit on and going out and entertaining hundreds of thousands of people.
At this point, I'm having as much fun as they're having, you know what I mean? Because this is what I want to do. This is what I worked my whole life to be in this fucking moment right now, you know what I mean? I want that moment to last forever, I want to live in that moment.
It's a party. You know, his entrance is a party. And, you know, once that's over, then,
RVD.
you know, you gotta see him wrestle.
Oh my God!
Yo, I'm the Sandman. What the fuck up?
But do people call you Hack?
Yeah, dude. My parents call me Hack. My kids call me Hack. My granddaughter calls me Poppy Hack. I've had that name since I was 5 years old. My older brother gave it to me.
And so what's your introduction to professional wrestling?
Oh, dude, it was like Saturday afternoon. I watched WWF at 1 o'clock on Saturdays. Dude, that's all I
Back
ever
with the
wanted to
extra
be was
W.
a professional wrestler.
Let's stick with your upbringing here. You started getting in some trouble with the law a little bit?
I was all coked up and I was drunk and I burglarized
Damn.
the house, which is basically the only like real like crime that I ever did. And my first day in jail, I punched a guard in the face. I got in a fight with a guy over the television. I was watching something and he went to change it. And then we got in a fight. 2 guards went to break it up. He ducked. I punched the guard in the face, broke his glasses. I was lucky I didn't get charged with assault on a guard. That could have been a couple years, you know what I mean? But I ended up literally going to the hole for 6 months. I'm glad it happened because, you know, it's throwing a rock in a pond. If that ripple's not there, maybe this ripple's not here. It's just the stupid shit I walk into in my life. I get out of jail, it's like 84, and like this new club opens up. And dude, the place holds 2,000 people. It's like 5 stories high. It's like the greatest thing ever. So Thursday nights was $10 all you could drink. So I'm out there, I'm on the dance floor. Some blonde comes up and starts dancing with me, grabs me by my hand and starts walking me across the dance floor. I'm like, all right, where am I gonna go have sex with this chick? Where is she? 'Cause that's exactly what I'm thinking. We end up going up these stairs. We're in this little freaking office. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do this in this little office? She goes, take your shirt off. Thinking, how am I going to screw her? She goes, listen, I'm a producer, director for the Chippendales. I want you to be at Chippendales. I was one of those guys who wore the black pants, tight pants, the cuffs and the collar, and I just entertained the women. I don't leave the club until 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, you're snorting coke with the boys just down in the locker room because that's just what you did back in them days. You know what I mean? And then I go out to the after hours club, and then I go to the club that opened up at 6 a.m. It's just crazy, man. And that was my job for the next year or so until I got fired for soliciting.
You got fired for what?
Soliciting. I got, because they weren't paying a lot of money. I had like 4 guys in on it with me. So it was $100 to do us. There was the Alpine Inn down the street. That was $42.50. So it would cost you $100 for us, $42.50 for the Alpine Inn for however long it took. And that lasted for about 6 months until, I don't know, just one day, there's a couple state troopers. They're like, listen, we can file some charges or you can quit and tell us who your boys are. I said, well, I'm not telling you who my boys are. That's your job to figure that out, but I'll quit. So I was done.
He was not the type that I would have saw myself going for, really. He was very, I don't know if you want to say flamboyant, but something drew me to him. And believe it or not, that night we sat and talked, and he was just like, I think I could love you.
Hey, I work quick. Dude, that's kind of how I've been with, it's like I meet him and then like I'm in.
I ended up actually, a few months later, finding out I was pregnant. And he said he'd like to get married before the child was born, so he wasn't born out of wedlock.
Miss Peaches!
My name is Lori Strzelecki, aka Peaches from ECW, and Sandman's ex-wife. He was in construction at the time, and Joe Goodhart opened up a wrestling school.
I had to go check it out. And then next thing you know, dude, like 3 days later, I gave the guy like $3,500. 3 months later, I was in the ring.
It's not gonna be pretty. There's gonna be blood. There's gonna be broken bones, and it's me and you.
When I first saw him, it was probably 1991. He was a surfer. He had white stuff on his nose. He wore a wetsuit, and he carried a surfboard.
South Beach, California. This is the Sandman.
My name's Sabu. I've been wrestling over 30 years, and I participated in ECW.
Oh my God!
I remember him, and he came out with Peaches, his wife.
I met up with the promoter, and he goes, I got your name. You're gonna be Mr. Sandman. And he looks at my wife then, he goes, you're gonna be Peaches.
Peaches!
used to wear this god-awful wetsuit that smelled horrible. I'm Kelly, and the Sandman is my dad. And he would come out with my mom, Miss Peaches, and he would come out with his stupid surfboard. That was his very first gimmick.
You know, it started out doing like little gymnasiums and like car dealerships, but it was like just a fresh new company. It was like everybody was just getting their bearings, you know, or feeling it out. But he was consistent with it. It was like his life's dream.
It's my pleasure for being here with all you people, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this belt.
The gimmick was bad. His ability was not. I mean, he's big, he was good looking, very bright, very athletic.
Oh!
My name is Todd Gordon. I'm the creator and the founder of Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Well, thank heaven. Here's our commissioner. Here's Todd.
Sandman and I have been best friends since we first met 30 years ago when I started my own company, which was Eastern Championship Wrestling at the time, which became Extreme Championship Wrestling. He was on my first grouping of people to use.
I've had that belt, I've been there before, and I'll be there again.
Sandman now on top of things.
Philadelphia's Eastern Championship Wrestling was a struggling indie promotion until the arrival of Paul Heyman transforms the company into Extreme Championship Wrestling.
He's done it!
Paul Heyman was the right guy because he's a great mind for the business.
How to be a rule breaker 101.
Dude, he's the greatest mind ever in the history of professional wrestling. Creatively, nobody could touch Paul Heyman and come anywhere close to that dude. I would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for Paul Heyman giving me the ball and let me run. First night, I go in there, he sees me with the surfboard, he goes, "That's getting broken over your head tonight." And then the next thing you know, I forgot my wrestling boots. I'm like, "Paul, sorry, dude, I forgot my wrestling boots." He goes, "I don't give a fuck." I'm like, I don't have to wear wrestling shoes no more. Dude, it was a fucking light bulb going off in my head when Paul Heyman says, "I don't give a fuck if you're wearing wrestling boots." I'm like, boom, I'm not even gonna change. I'm gonna wear the clothes. I'm gonna show up to the arena and dude, I'm gonna be me. I'm just gonna fucking be me out there.
And it got to that, it was at that point, I'm like, you're never gonna be able to walk through this curtain again. Like, you literally cannot enter the ring like a normal wrestler ever again, because this is what's expected of you.
He will be more hardcore than the next Tracy Lords video. And as for me, Paulie Dangerously, haven't had a shave in a couple weeks and don't look like I really care anymore.
Upon Paul Heyman's arrival, the Sandman drops his surfer look, changing with the times to reinvent himself with a whole new persona.
I was always trying to figure, what hasn't somebody done?
Well, the good time's over. Here comes the Sandman.
I'm the guy that's in the bar, loses a game of pool, and wants to get into a fight with you. That was me in my life, dude. That was my regular Friday and Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, I was a gimmick by myself. I was born as a gimmick.
We got to be ourselves in the dressing room and ourselves in the ring. The beauty of Paul's intelligence is he makes you figure it out.
Trial and error. That's how he became the Sandman. Hey, Daddy. My name is Bill Fonzie Alfonso, and I am a 40-year-plus veteran of sports entertainment.
He's a winner! He's a winner! Fuck you, Adam!
He would put things together in his head that he thought would work in ECW, and they did.
Life's a bitch. And then you marry one.
He's a typical Philly guy. Like, you go to a bar, you get in a brawl, you know, here's the dude. He was a relatable character. People could kind of identify with that South Philly vibe.
He was your buddy who would come off the couch and just step into the ring and swing a cane and drink a beer. My name is Raven, professional wrestling superstar, but you already know that.
For the first time ever, Raven goes one-on-one with the Sandman.
You know, every fan says, "Oh, I would get in the ring."
Sandman with the guillotine leg drop.
But he's the guy that actually goes and does it. Part of being a good worker is knowing how to get your character over and how to keep your character over. And he's done that for, 35 years now.
So is there trial and error when you're coming up with stuff?
Well, yeah, and like coming through the crowd. I think I came through the crowd because me and Missy were coming through the crowd. Dude. Me and Missy. We're in fucking Queens. And there's a strip club. Me and Missy are over in the strip club and my music's playing. It's already played once this whole time. So I wasn't going fucking up through the back and doing there. I just went through the front fucking door. Boom, light bulb. Nobody's come through the crowd before.
Just drinking his beer, walking through the audience. Meanwhile, he's drunk off his ass by then. He's drinking 5 on the way to the ring.
We trusted him because we knew he was able to do it. My name is RVD. That stands for Rob Van Dam. You know, he proved himself that he was able to wrestle when he was drunk.
Watching him, I would get nervous with his freaking ass climbing up on the top rope, and I'm like, is he really gonna attempt this aerial maneuver right now?
I know I can trust him drunk. Anybody drunk? No. Sandman, yes. Anybody else, I wouldn't allow it either. But Sandman, you're not drunk? I'm not wrestling you.
How did the Singapore Cane come to be?
So
He's gotta be
Sunday,
drunk
Paul's
to
at the
wrestle.
left
That's
side.
a
We're
good
standing
one.
next to this fucking tree. Paul goes, you know that kid overseas that got caught spray painting the car? I'm like, yeah, the kid Michael Fay. He goes, good, you know what I'm talking about.
Singapore had sentenced an 18-year-old American to 6 strokes with a bamboo cane.
And I said, yeah, dude, you ever see that?
The
fucking
Singapore
that
cane.
Every shot they hit you with, it makes you bleed. He goes, you're gonna start carrying a Singapore cane to the ring. I'm like, Paul, okay, what am I gonna use? He goes, rips a branch off the fucking tree, rips all the little other branches off and says, get some tape, wrap it around there, that's gonna be your Singapore cane. I want you to cut a promo with it.
The first ever Singapore caning match.
May 14th, Saturday night, ECW.
And now it's the Sandman caning Iron Man Tommy Cairo. Did you hear that?
And then the angle with Dreamer, just
Yeah, what happened there?
we went to 10 lashes.
I can't look.
It skyrocketed both of our careers. He got his ass kicked, but he took it like a man, and Philly loves that.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
And the Sandman takes an 11th shot.
It's hardcore because it's real, and to me, you're pulling something out of the inside of somebody that they're feeling somehow what you're doing in the ring. Hardcore isn't violence to do violence. To me, like the hardcore is violence for a reason. And then it just means more people, and you can see it in their faces, then you can see how they react.
Sandman wasn't a wrestler. He was a entertainer.
That cigarette hit our cameraman right in the eye.
That's what ECW was about.
Wrestling is entertainment, and you don't have to do a wrist lock, a wristwatch, a moonsault to get over. It doesn't have to be wrestling.
I am getting ready to take you to a new level of extreme.
He got better and better and knew how to play the Sandman, and he was just acting this part out.
Everybody was kind of riding that high. Everyone was like, man, like, they made it. We're in this very concentrated community, and everybody knew who he was.
He dropped me off at school, and he's got gash marks on his head from like the beer cans. And my teacher's like, Tyler, are you all right? I'm Tyler Fullington, and the Sandman is my father. Every time he was home, you know, he made sure to spend time with us because he knew he would be on the road, you know, a lot and be away. And he wanted to make sure that his kids were having his time when he was home, you know, hurting or not.
He would just roll out of bed, throw pants on, and like, let's roll. Literally, he would say, let's roll.
The older and older I got, I felt this is cool and all, but at times I'd rather just have my dad around.
Sandman's schedule becomes even more punishing as ECW explodes in popularity by constantly pushing their own limits.
Paul's show is aimed at adults,
The Sandman exposes his ex-wife.
and so storylines were adult.
The Sandman's got a hold of his wife. He just pulled up her, and woman is lashing peaches.
Just thought, like, this is like the furthest thing from pro wrestling, but Paul would guide us the way the ECW energy needed to be.
Well, I had Nancy with me too, so that helps.
Why, thank you, Sandman. And that's just the beginning. I've been known to enhance a few careers.
She was so smart. I would be like, yeah, I want to do it this way. She goes, no, we're not doing it that way. We're doing it this way. I'm like, all right.
And so if something happens outside of the wrestling world, they're going to go with it. And the fans are going to know about it anyway because they were all what we called the smart fans or the smarks.
I walk into the building and Paul Heyman goes to me, I've been talking to Macaulay Culkin. This is what we're going to do. We're going to bring him in as your kid. I'm like, dude, I have a Macaulay Culkin sitting right out in my van. He goes, great, we'll use Tyler.
That's just one of Paul's lies. Had no connection to Macaulay Culkin at all.
That's a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's real.
Of course they do.
That sounds like a
Selling
lie.
snowballs in winter, trust me.
Yeah, I was about 6 years old. My mom, dad came up to me. How would you like to be like part of the show? Or I'm like, I guess. What am I gonna do?
I just remember he takes my wife and then he takes my kid and then we're off to the races.
Yeah? Yeah, if he takes your wife and kid,
the
I mean...
Sandman's wife, Lori, has long been an ECW fixture as part of her husband's storylines, and now takes center stage in his latest feud with Raven.
You took my child. Tonight, I'm gonna take you, Raven, to the extreme.
But bringing his son Tyler into the mix is something the wrestling world hasn't seen and wouldn't expect.
Oh, dear Lord. I don't even know how it all began.
Inside this woman's body began the constant evolution of the Sandman's successor.
Sandman in my feud, I would say, is one of the greatest feuds in the history of the business, but I'm partial because I was in the feud. But I really think that. Everybody knows somebody who has a marriage that got ended in divorce, where the child is used as a prop to gain concessions.
All the abuse, the suffering, the emotional alienation that I took as a child is now being inflicted upon your son, Sandman.
And it's the most low-down, dirty, and cruel thing you can do. So I'm like, oh, this is great.
The big crux of it was that Raven and Sandman had been feuding, and they wanted to take it to the next level. So Raven, he quote-unquote stole Sandman's wife.
I've already pimped her out to the whole locker room before.
But then he stole Sandman's son, Tyler, which was really controversial because we had a kid who's like 5 years old in the ring.
Next thing you know, here we are. He's got a little flannel shirt on, and they just coached him in the back a little bit, just what to say, and, you know.
Don't you dare fucking smile out there. Nothing. I don't want any reaction from you on anything. This is what your face is.
What do you think about that, kid?
That's your face, and that's the way you stay. Look at him. There's the face right there. There's the face. That's the face that always.
There's the face. That's the face.
I can close my eyes and see him dressed like Raven. It was crazy.
I was young and naive. You know, me and my mom are coming down the aisle. Raven's a bloody mess, got barbed wire in his hair or something like that. We just get in front. Raven says, Tyler, tell him.
Tyler, tell him.
Daddy, you're drunk. Now I worship Raven.
I hit the line, and you could hear like a somberness, like almost over the crowd, like, ooh, like that hurt. It wasn't like a cheer, it wasn't like a boo, like it was like, oh shit, like, damn.
I worship Raven. And the whole place was like, oh my. Quiet. And you don't hear that in the arena.
These people ate it up. They were just like, holy shit, you just hurt the Sandman. Like, Raven became the heel's heel. You know, now you came in and you stole his family. That shit put asses in seats.
Tyler is an amazing actor.
Hey, you little bastard, why don't you shut up? The Sandman's not even your real dad.
He never missed a cue. He never missed a spot.
Shut up, kid.
We'd be going doing promos after the show, and I'd be drunk and I'd screw up a promo or I'd forget to give him the line, and he would still hit the line anyway, exactly in the right spot. I mean, he was amazing.
Hey, kid, you know the divorce was your daddy's fault, don't you?
I know.
I think I know now more, like, looking back on it, like, hey, those guys were pretty fucking crazy, you know? Like, but at the time, I was just being a kid.
I don't even know if I was
Yeah.
prepared for it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. And I'm thinking, this is going to turn my life upside down, you know, because everything had to be separate. Travel separate, show up separate, leave separate. It was crazy.
We'd be leaving the arena, separate cars, and you have a meeting spot. You pulled up to the gas station and kind of look like anybody with an ECW shirt on, like, all right, get out, switch cars, like get back in the cars, you know, stuff like that.
You know, the marks, they're always out, always looking for you. They know exactly who you are, where you go, and it's hard trying to keep that whole storyline separate for as long as we did.
Me, my dad, my mom, Tyler, we did this all together. They might have been in the spotlight, but we did this all together.
We're traveling to shows constantly every week. You know, that was life.
Shit, there were times we'd be driving around New York and they would find this like playground. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We were in like bumfuck New York and it was pouring rain, and Raven would say, this is like the best weather to like, we gotta shoot this promo.
I am their salvation.
And at the very end, they cut to me, and I just hit,
Quote to Raven, nevermore.
quote the Raven, nevermore. I had one line, cut it, and I guess I got to go back to sleep.
You see, I control the children.
I just think they got away with doing so much that other companies didn't. And they just really pushed the line. They pushed every limit that they could.
This is just heartbreaking.
I couldn't do it mentally anymore, and I didn't want my kids to be a part of it anymore. It was too much.
The Sandman and Raven storyline proves to be a massive success for the company, but their attempt to take it to the next level could end up bringing ECW down.
The best way to describe Raven is he's a martyr for society's dysfunction, and he wants everyone to feel his pain. So I came up with the idea of putting Sandman up on a cross so he could feel my pain. So I'm like, I can't build a cross. He goes, I'll build it, idiot face.
Dude, people don't realize that I used to build shit, dude. That's what I was. I was a roofer. I was a concrete dude. I was a carpenter.
So he built his own cross, and we had a thorny crown. We had a barbed wire crown to be the thorny crown. Oh, we made sure we got all the little touches on it. So we throw Sandman out to the floor, me, Stevie, Namini, and Nova, and we start tying him to the cross. We start hoisting it up, and all of a sudden the place goes, oh shit.
Putting my dad on a cross, it's a holy figure with barbed wire wrapped around his head as if he's, you know, this embodiment of Jesus Christ. I wasn't raised very religious, clearly, but somebody seeing that, I mean, I was like, what the fuck is gonna happen now?
Yeah, good question. Good question to have. This crucifixion angle is crazy, y'all.
Raven steal the ECW spotlight. Both are looking to shock the audience.
I'm surprised that it's mostly,
the backstage fallout.
I guess to this
on the
point,
cross, and
it's
Stevie
been
said,
mostly
"This is fucked up."
in-ring
Shut the fuck
stuff.
up. This is great, Stevie. And then we get to the fucking back, and I'm like, damn, that was fucking great, guys.
And Paulie's like, there's so much heat on this. I'm like, why?
And then everything was great except fucking Kurt Angle happened to be in the fucking building that night. You know, he's this Olympian. It's his first time being around pro wrestling and shit like that.
You have to understand, I'm a Christian kid from Pittsburgh, and when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, it's a crucifixion. I was really upset, and I went to Paul Heyman, and I said, hey, you can't air this show with me on it. If you do, you're going to hear from my attorney. And Paul said, well, I didn't even know what's going to happen. He's the promoter. It's the main event. Shit. That was my last straw.
Paul wants to get this Olympic fucking champion to come work for fucking ECW, you know what I mean? So Paul's kissing his ass. So they get fucking Raven to go out in the pie. I said, that's fucking bullshit. I disagree. Fuck all you dudes. And I just walked away.
And so for the people who I deeply offended, I apologize.
Despite the controversy surrounding the crucifixion angle, the scandal doesn't slow the Sandman's momentum.
Dude, are you kidding me? Me and my man Scorp, we have the tag team titles. I have the heavyweight title, and he's got the TV title. When you and your boy got all the titles in the company, then you know you're doing something right.
Oh, she's meowing to get in.
Despite the accolades and championships, Life on the road and ECW's hard-hitting style are taking a toll on the Sandman's body.
A lot of injuries from that hard-hitting style.
What are you kidding me? I've broken like 27 bones. Yeah. Broken my neck, this clavicle 3 times. I need a new hip. I need 2 shoulder surgeries. Dude, a superplex off the top rope is a 30-mile-an-hour car crash. Imagine doing 10 of them every day of your life. Forget it. I got operated on. This leg is operated on that morning. They shaved my meniscus and flew back to Philly. I came into the ring with, I had crutches. You know what I'm saying? You love what you're doing so much that you just don't care.
I actually was home one night and I got a call from Todd and he said, Hack's got a concussion and he can't remember. And I was like, that's a good one. You guys just go have fun and stop trying to goat me. And he's like, I'm not kidding. He got hit in the head and he doesn't remember anything. And he's like, I'm dead serious. So I had gone down and sure enough, there he was. Who won the match? What did it look like? I said, I don't know, I wasn't there. Who won the match? It was relentless. And then that was early on. And there's countless times after that. I was like, you can't keep doing this. You're not gonna be able to do things with the kids. You know, they just wanna keep on going. That's all they know.
You get hurt, so be it. Suck it the fuck up.
He would never take a pill. And then it just got to a point where you get in this pain and, well, okay, couple, leads to a couple more, and your body gets used to it and a couple more, and then you're drinking, and then you gotta go to bed, so you're taking Xanax.
We've heard this one a
And then
lot.
you gotta be up, so you're doing cocaine. It's a vicious cycle. And once you get on it, it's very hard to get off.
You know, I knew what was going on. I knew what he kept in his fanny pack. What am I gonna say? I'm a kid.
I don't know, I'm 12, 13 years old. Like, I don't know what a Xanax is or, you know, a perk or whatever. At the time, like, pain medicine. That's all I know. And if, you know, I gotta trust him. Yes, to help my back, help my neck, help, you know. All right, you gotta do what you gotta do. You work 300 nights a year getting body slammed, and you tell me what you would do.
You know, as time went on, of course they have the barbed wire, the chairs, the light bulbs, the tacks. So, a couple perks, some somas, and it just progressed.
I used to joke back then, if you pass a piss test, you can't work for us. We all got high, we all partied.
ECW. You pass a piss test, you can't work for us.
I remember my first bag.
They wouldn't have let Kurt Angle fucking be in there anyway.
The older I got, he was taking drugs, you know, just going down the wrong path.
Until he became Kurt Angle, and then they'd let him.
Every Friday, we'd have 3 doctors that we would go see in Philadelphia. All 3 doctors would give us 90 Oxycontin 80s. So you're getting 270 Oxycontin 80s. You're getting 300 Percocets. You're getting 300 somas. And everybody would come out, we would call it, oh, we would get our booty.
There was a lot of drugs that went around the dressing room. I remember one time I had a friend
Austin had
that
an
brought me some
85.
mushrooms, and I was looking forward to trying them after my match.
Van Dam's
Came
doing
for
some
the
mushrooms.
And my bag was empty. And I was like, man, who ate my mushrooms?
He ain't doing no
Sandman
mushrooms.
was like, oh, were those yours?
They were in his bag, bro.
He should be dead. Sandman should be dead. Raven, Sandman, and I was driving in a car. We're going 200 miles. Raven had got hurt like the week before. He had a ruptured disc sticking out, so they gave him this highly addictive narcotic.
So we have to stop at a gas station so I can go to the bathroom and so I can shoot up because I got to get my dose in.
I had never
Invented a new
shot anything
catchphrase.
before, but I'd seen TV shows and shit like that.
Good shit.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I'm shooting an 80. He goes, it's really good. I'm like, well, damn, I want to try. I'm in, you know, because I'm a druggie. So I go to shoot a whole 80. He goes, dude, do not shoot a whole 80. You do not want I'm like, I snort 5 of these things a day. I could shoot an 80.
So he shoots up the same amount too. And we get back in the SUV and we start driving.
Sandman starts going like, he can't breathe right. I said, Raven, Sandman's having trouble breathing. He said, oh, he'll be all right. About 5 minutes later, I said, "Hey, Daddy, his lips are turning blue."
We're like, what? He's like, his lips are turning blue. We're like, holy shit, he's ODing.
Oh, yeah.
Now we got a problem. He's dying.
Oh, fuck. I forgot.
The Sandman's reckless nature and persistent drug use have landed him on the brink of death.
One of a
Thank God
kind
they
match,
stopped, they
dude.
called the ambulance came,
pretty-
the adrenaline
pretty good
shot
match.
needle.
Fantastic heat.
They take me to the hospital. I wake up at like 4 in the morning. I ripped the shit out of my arms, grabbed my shit out of the hospital, fucking went into the hotel, fell asleep, got up, and went to the show the next day, and shot an Oxycontin 80 and loved it. I liked it so much, I'm like, dude, I can't do this again. I'll end
98.
up fucking really actually being
Brett
dead.
Savage,
Never did it again.
98, dude.
I found bills in my mail
Beautiful
that
card.
show that
A
he
100.
was resuscitated
A
from shooting up
100.
and flatlining, and he never told me.
I wasn't telling her.
Oh,
Yeah, I
3
OD'd
100
fucking on the road
angles.
last week. Almost died. Yeah, I'm not coming home with that story fucking Sunday afternoon.
As the Sandman struggles with his personal
Hell
issues,
yeah.
ECW experiences a decline as its top stars leave for bigger, more mainstream promotions.
I'm so used to doing
Towards the
Steve
end of
Austin.
ECW, WCW, and WWF was picking our talent. They would leave us and go to WWF, so Sandman got one of those offers to go to WCW and make 5 times the money he was making in ECW, so why wouldn't he? And all the guys up there were huge, big monster guys, and Sandman was a big tall kid, but not big muscle bound, but he wanted to get big. But he didn't remember, he didn't work out, he didn't go to the gym at all. So he ordered all kind of steroids, called it the gas.
So that's the 6 months that I was doing the juice, the steroids, and the growth hormone. And the only reason why I did it was because I was going to WCW, and that was the land of the freaking giants.
What was funny about when Sandman went to WCW was he got jacked, like for the first time ever.
Of course, we had access to the best gas on the planet from Germany or whatever, the latest shit that makes you big. So he was on it, and it affects your thought. It makes you mean sometimes. It has an effect on your personality.
It turned my dad into an abusive, harmful individual. And my mom turned into this almost subservient, meek woman for a little while. Breaking point for me was the abuse.
So your dad was actually like getting physically abusive?
Yeah.
My hair pulled.
Okay.
I had a pillow put over my face. Not just physically abused, but mental abuse. You're stupid, you know, a bunch of that. And sometimes the mental stuff was harder than the physical.
We were at his house, and we were at the table, and he's being a dick to his wife. And he poured a beer on her head. He wouldn't have done it unless he was all fucking gassed up and drunk. So Sandman just got a shipment, $10,000 shipment of steroids, and pizzas went in the refrigerators, and she fucking dumped it all out in the front lawn. And he said, "Do you realize you just dumped $10,000 worth of shit?" She said, "I don't give a fuck, Sandman. You're acting like a dick on this shit."
I don't care, you know, because it made him angry. Like he was just angry.
It hurt. As much as I loved him, I hated his guts. You know, because it was difficult. It was extremely difficult to see my mom go through what she had to go through. And like, you love us so much, how could you treat somebody you love like that? He's your parent, and you know it's not right, but you don't know how to help. You know, you don't know what to do. It got harder and harder to, you know, trust him and, you know, want to be around him.
I put fucking Lori through hell. Now I understand like her perspective, you know what I mean? And it was all me. If I could have had my shit together, then maybe me and her'd still be together. Who knows?
All I can say is
Probably.
I stayed in too long, and there's always help to guide you to where you need to be.
My mom took her a while, but she made a decision. And she decided that this is not how she wants to live her life anymore. She's got 3 kids.
Well, it was all my fault. And I know it. Dude, she was like an angel. I was like the devil reincarnated for a little while. Maybe for a long while.
In 2001, ECW closes its doors, and 2 years later, its assets are sold to Vince McMahon's WWE, giving the Sandman one last shot in the spotlight as the brand is relaunched.
What's that smell?
Sandman's character was kind of watered down, you know, no cigarette smoking, no beer.
Drinking on the job? What the hell is this?
Society had changed, and so he wasn't used as well as he could have been.
That's not the ECW that I know. That's not the ECW that the fans know. A lot of the original ECW fans want to forget about that time.
Might not be ECW for long.
Sandman's time in the WWE is brief and unremarkable.
Wow.
And though his
He
wrestling
jumped right
career
up.
is largely over, his troubles with addiction continue.
I got a phone call. Dad just got arrested. He's going to jail. Like, I was at work. I'm like, for what? So me and my brother packed our shit, drove up to New York. How am I gonna find a freaking lawyer? I don't even know what he did. Like, I'm in Yonkers, New York. I'd watched him wrestle for how many years. Walked into this courtroom looking like he just got put through a washing machine. He, like, physically looked hurt. And I was just like, what happened?
30 Long Island iced teas.
It's just so weird.
Alright, everybody here's
He went up like 2 fucking categories for losing to Steve Austin.
Got
Okay.
a fight with the owner or something. He threw a bottle at me, hit me in the head. I chased him into the kitchen, broke a bunch of shit in the kitchen, then the SWAT team came in, took me away.
Basically had to go through the court system. They finally set his bail.
So I remember calling this bank and I'm like, listen, I need you to authorize a $10,000 from ATMs. And
Oh,
just
he's
like,
the best
well,
one.
there's only going to be like a $2,000 limit per each ATM, and that's just the ATM itself. Like, if you're only allowed to take so much. So here I am bouncing around till I got to 10 grand.
So I would be on the phone with them at an ATM, because you know, you see these kids getting money out of an ATM, they're gonna rob you.
Finally, we're able to give him bail about like 3, 4 or something in the morning.
I remember walking into this like huge prison and like giving them this money, and like out comes my dad, and I was like, get the fucking car, we're fucking going home. I can't fucking believe. And like, of course, like, this is my life.
No kid should have to do that.
It was your life. You lived it.
Austin.
But you just
I don't even
remember
know.
how horrible it is
Whatever.
until later, or how horrible you might have made it for other people that you love.
Deep down, he realizes he's done a lot of bad, and that maybe this is his redemption. I would like for him to accept what was, accept what he has, and move on from here. But I think it's going to be kind of cleansing for all of us, and hopefully himself, to just let it go.
I don't know, I'm an idiot. I've been so self-sabotaging in my life. It's like there's been a lot of just personal destruction. And now it hits me a little bit different because I'm older, and you think about the stupid shit that you've done, that kind of changes everything. You know what I mean? So there's a different perspective in my head now.
I want him to realize no matter how bad things were at times, including family life, that where he came from and what he did was a lot of hard work and, you know, accomplishment. Was it perfect by any stretch of the imagination? No. He's made a lot of mistakes, and he'll be one to tell you. But he's self-made, and it's okay to say that.
He lived his life's dream. There always has to be an end for everyone. There always has to be an end to what you can do. And you've done it. A lot of people can't say that they've done that.
He can still be the Sandman. He still is the Sandman. There never will be another Sandman. I really just wish that he would understand that what happened, and he can move forward.
Sandman is an icon.
Poster boy for hardcore.
People loved the Sandman.
I am the hardcore icon.
I mean, who else is gonna drink beer, smoke cigarettes, swing a cane, wear sweatpants to the ring, t-shirt, and get over?
What about Sandman?
Sandman.
What's his legacy?
First person to do a lot of shit. You know, the first person to bleed before he got in the ring. The first person to come out of the crowd, you know what I mean? Smoke a cigarette.
I am the king of extreme!
Smoking, drinking, yeah. Cool. Wonder why I'm fucking fucked up with that.
Well, that was that. The Sandman. Enter Sandman, you know? Episode of Dark Side of the Ring. We got the Sandman into some good stuff here. Billy Graham, well, he's a manager for Mike Graham, so I guess he's been used. Now I'm just trying to use up some guys. But then we'll run this match, or we'll run this show after I get some guys booked. Let Dutch go over Billy Graham. Yeah, Billy Graham doesn't have the stamina. Alright. Let's see, who else can we get? Match. March? Barry Windham hasn't wrestled since March? Let's get him in there. Brutus Beefcake. Brutus Beefcake will actually be our next episode. So that's exciting. Let's have him face off against David Schultz, a former episode haver. Shoot. And then let's give, since Brutus Beefcake's going to be in the next one, let's give him a push here. Let him beat Mike Graham. Actually, Mike Graham just wrestled. Let me have him. Yeah, there's baby faces that need to get out there. George Steele. There we go. What, I got 6 minutes left? Oh shit, 6 minutes total? Okay, let's see if he's down to lose that quick. We'll see. Yep, he is. Cool. What do we got? 47 minutes of pre-show. Just need to get guys in slots. Let's go. Yeah, you know what? Let's get the ladies a slot out here. Some faces. Huh. Okay. I think they had bad chemistry, but I'm not even honestly too worried about it right now. Good shit. Yeah, let me get Baby Boy. He can win against some heel. Onita hasn't fucking been out in a minute. Oh, make sure Baby Boy wins that. Okay, 19 more minutes. And we all... So, Art Bar... Yeah. Art Bar a heel? No, babyface. Alright, cool. We got Horace Hogan on the card since he just got some coaching from his new mentor, Terry Funk. How much is left? 19? Alright. So it wouldn't make sense to have like a 5-minute match or something. So these guys can go 19 minutes and our bar can teach Horace Hogan a bit about psychology. Cool. Let's see how the Sandman's match against Keiji Yamada goes. The Jushin Thunder Liger match. Our bar Rusty. Did he just get... He must have just gotten out of rehab, and then I forgot about him. Okay. Finishes Onita with the running power slam. That's a 72. That was a good match. Luna... Yeah. Okay. Sandman had an 11. Thunder Liger had a fucking 76. We're at average about 56. The great performance of Keiji Yamada really stood out. You don't say. Alright. Undertaker came across well. Kerry Von Erich came across well. Let's go. 100. Nice, nice. Actually, Ron Simmons, that's really solid, bro. He hadn't wrestled since like February or some shit, so I'm glad he still knew how to do this shit. Douglas is fucking nice with it, bro. Okay, okay. 86, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. 90, 89. I think, yeah, they're just upset that like Hogan doesn't have a belt. I think that's the only thing that's going on with his matches dropping below everyone's performance. Owen submitted Ray Traylor with a sharpshooter. Ruh-roh. 92. That's a pretty good fucking match, bro. That's a pretty good fucking match. Alright, I'm happy with it. I'm happy. That's going to be the end of the show there. For an overall performance of 93. Wow. Yeah. Big ups to everybody on the card. Gotta love that shit. Yeah, they did it crazy. They did it crazy, bro. We're in May now. We got to see a couple of TVs and a super card this time. I just want to see for our next show. It doesn't look like we're gonna make it to Super Clash in time, y'all. Unfortunately, for Brutus Beefcake to have a super class, a super clash match. Yeah, but in any event, that is our time, folks. That's our show for the week. The Sandman. Yeah, still alive. I knew he was still alive, so I knew it didn't end in like a tragic overdose death or anything like that. But I didn't know what kind of ride we were in for. Yeah, definitely had some issues. Not to the extent of what we might be used to on Dark Side, but yeah, that was rough, you know. When art imitating life, imitating art, imitating life, and such. But that's enough art for now. I gotta go live some life. Peace out, y'all. See you in the next one.